And to our local MPs, Jim Flaherty and Colin Carey, that Give me feedback, Bill. Sorry. We have a crisis in the auto industry, ladies and gentlemen. We have a crisis in our auto parts industry. A crisis throughout manufacturing in general, across every sector of manufacturing. Not only here in Oshawa and Durham region, but throughout Ontario and across Canada. Our country is bleeding good paying manufacturing jobs. Close to 400,000 manufacturing jobs have left Canada in the last 5 years, with no end in sight. In the last 12 months, brothers and sisters, 132,000 good-paying manufacturing jobs have left. That amounts to 360 jobs gone every day of that year. And every month, the numbers increase. Thousands more people lose their jobs. More layoffs are announced. More plant closures are announced. And that's shameful in a country as great as Canada, brothers and sisters. Since the Conservative government took power, Oshawa has lost 10,800 jobs in 2 years. This job loss has a devastating impact on workers and their families, but also on all of our communities. Yet our government continues to turn their backs on the crisis. Our government continues to turn their backs on working men and women throughout the country. We have information here today. Please take that information. Part of a leaflet today has the numbers, email addresses of our current MPs. I encourage everyone to contact their local MPPs and demand they get up off their asses and stop the bleeding of manufacturing jobs. Demand, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, they get up off their asses before it's too late. Ask them where to find a good paying job. A good paying job to support yourself, support your families, to raise your children. See what their answer is. This is the writing of Federal Finance Minister Jim Flaherty. And ask yourself, what has Jim Flaherty done for his writing? What has Jim Flaherty done for working Canadians? What did Jim Flaherty's latest federal budget do for working people? What did it do for the unemployed? When you contact Jim Flaherty, ask him what he's done with the $54 billion EI deficit, or surplus, I'm sorry. In Oshawa, the numbers of people collecting an EI benefit have raised by 56%. Workers are running out of benefits. There could be workers here today who have run out of an EI benefit. Where is the $54 billion EI surplus? Ask Jim Flaherty that. And what has our Oshawa MP Colin Carey done for workers in Oshawa? Remind Colin Carey, his hometown has lost 10,800 jobs in the last 2 years under his leadership. Colin Carey is our voice in Ottawa, yet he remains silent. Another Stephen Harper puppet, brothers and sisters. Colin Carey recently criticized myself, and I understand, as president of the largest local union, the CAW, criticism is part of my job. But I took offense when Colin Carey stated publicly that Chris Buckley's not doing his job as a leader. Chris Buckley should stop pointing the finger at the government. Chris Buckley should get with General Motors and negotiate future product for his members. Well, brothers and sisters, we did exactly that in our recent set of negotiations. We bargained new product for our workplaces. We bargained new product for our workplaces with the help of the Oshawa Shop Committee, the GM Master Committee, and our national union led by Brother Hargrove. But unless the government gets up off their ass, ladies and gentlemen, and addresses the root cause of our crisis, things will only get worse. And the product we bargained will mean nothing at the end of the day. We're calling on our federal government to address unfair trade. We cannot compete with the offshore automakers. Millions of imported vehicles saturate our market every year unchallenged, yet we can't enter doors. We're calling on the government to address the unfair trade, address our rising Canadian dollar, address the rise in price of fuel, and for Christ's sakes, put in place a Buy Canadian Act, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Colin Carey could do more to support Oshawa auto workers, yet he chooses to own a Honda Pilot SUV. Recently in the city of Oshawa, Colin Carey and his team handed out shopping bags at M&M Meats. This was designed to promote himself, to promote the Conservative government, but brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, those bags were produced in China. Really looking after Canadian workers, let me tell you. The t-shirts you're wearing today, brothers and sisters, were made in Canada. We must continue our fight. The government can stop the bleeding, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, but they must get up off their asses. They must stop turning their backs on working people, not only in Oshawa, not only in Ontario, but across the great country of Canada. All of our futures depend on this. Our children's futures depend on it. If we do not fight, the middle class will be eliminated. I know all of us here today understand that. Our communities will crumble around us. And to our critics out there, and there are many, we are not looking for the government to bail out the big corporations. We are looking for our government to get up off their rear ends, address the issues that have a negative impact on working Canadians, and put us on a level playing field with the rest of the global market. That's what our government should do. And remind our critics out there, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, every one of us could go to work for nothing every day, and that will not correct the injustices we're faced with. That will not increase GM market share, Ford market share, or Chrysler market share. What will help us out of this hole is for our government to act, and act now before it's too late. So again, in closing, I encourage everyone who is here today, first of all, thank you very much.
Proud of you, Chris.
First of all, thank you for attending, but this is not over. Contact the government. We're going to not stop our fighting. We're going to continue to press ahead. Thousands of working Canadians rely on it, and our children rely on it. Thank you very much.